I do have one more request. It has to do with our training regime. Will you guys suck me off until I come all over your faces?
Well, I wouldn't keep anything from my fans. Not even this gorgeous cock.
Go on. Go on. Go on. I was like, yes! Yes! I was just like, right there!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fan Advocacy Network. I'm going through this Funimation trend, and I'm just disgusted. I mean, these people are the absolute worst. Listening to some of this audio, it's pure filth. And the irony here is that these are the same people who went after Vic Mignogna. These are the same people who said Vic Mignogna is a menace, he needs help, he can't be trusted, he's a pervert, he's a deviant. And this is the garbage that they do when they have the opportunity. This is something that they were paid to do on Funimation's dime, on Funimation's time, with licensed characters that are not theirs. Beloved licensed children's characters that are not theirs. If Funimation loses the license to Dragon Ball Z, it's still Toei's property. That means they have to deal with this. It's not Chris Sabat. It's not Sean Schemmel. And Sean Schemmel recording using the F word, the FAG word, in regards to Gohan and the whole thing about Chi-Chi having an incestual relationship with Gohan, and all of these clips are just foul. Chris Rager as Mr. Satan talking about exposing himself to his fans. All of this is done with the approval of everyone around that Funimation environment. And yet they want to point to Vic and say that he's some kind of deviant? No, these people are all perverted, degenerate, egotistical freaks. They're all freaks. They're all weirdos. And they all run in the same circle. And for some reason they thought, it's time for Vic to get out. And so they asked him. No justice, no reasonability. It's just, this is who these people are. And it's continuing to come out. Ron Toy, getting a restraining order from his ex-wife because she was afraid. He was he was an abuser. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. These SJWs, these far left extremists, they are the worst people that you will ever meet, and they will always accuse you of the things that they themselves do in order to assuage their guilt because they know what they're doing is wrong. I mean, Mr. Popo and Yamcha and Kame and Piccolo having some kind of, gay orgy, and it's foul and disgusting. And these people do this with no thought or regard for the fact that they are being licensed this franchise. It's not theirs. It does not belong to them. They have no respect for themselves, for the characters that have made them who they are. Not many people know who voices the Dragon Ball characters, but a couple of them have made it relatively famous. And it's for those characters. You would think that they would put in some level of respect there. Who is Sean Schemmel? What is Sean Schemmel if not for the voice of Goku? Of course, a voice of Goku number 40. I mean, because there's been tons of other Gokus. But the point is that what these people have done here is disgusting, and it's disappointing, and it's very revealing about who they are. And if you go through the trend on social media, you see that people, you see that people are just disgusted. They're not having this because you are polluting and tainting something that a lot of people genuinely love. And you're doing it for your own ego or your own sense of humor. Oh, haha, I thought it was funny. Yeah, with characters that you don't own. Characters that you don't own, that you're licensing. And so what is Toei to do in all this? I mean, they've gone from riding high in January to months of just nothing but negative press. Funimation's being sued. Some of their employees are being sued. Then this releases. It's bad news all around because you have people who are working at these companies that are more interested in themselves than actually doing a good job or creating a respectable product. They simply care more about their clique, their group. And I find that disgusting. I find that ridiculous. But if you want to get right down to it, if you want to say, well, I listened to the audio and I didn't have a problem with it, well, that's fine. But at the very least, you have to acknowledge the hypocrisy. You have to acknowledge the double standard. They're going to fire Vic for absolutely nothing. But they are going to allow these people to keep their job for making, homophobic remarks, for making rape jokes, for making homosexual comments about, all the characters are gay in some way. You have got to hold these people to the same standard, or there is no standard. And it seems that Vic was held to a different standard because he wasn't one of the boys. He wasn't one of the in-group. And that is not acceptable. And looking through these comments, I can only hope that Sony is paying attention. I can only hope that they realize the damage that has been done. And I don't know what Toei or Sony, I don't know what they can do to build back goodwill. I mean, yeah, they could fire Monica Rial and they could fire, people like Sean Schimmel or Chris Saban. They could do that. But, I mean, unless they hire back Vic and get a team of people that genuinely care about Dragon Ball and want the opportunity to grow with this franchise, unless they do something like that, they're not gonna be able to recover this. I mean, this is devastating. Some of the things that have been said here and passed around are just grotesque. And Toei, poor Toei, there's Dragon Ball Kakarot. Dragon Ball Kakarot's right around the corner. I mean, think about that for a second. You've got merchandise, you've got people on the line, you've got investors to think about, and these people have this type of content floating around. You didn't think to delete that? You didn't think to delete it? You didn't think to, maybe make sure that none of this ever saw the light of day? I know that if I had content like this that was out there on the internet, if I had content that was, incriminating, where I was using the FAG word and I was saying it a bunch of times and I was just being an absolutely reprehensible person on tape, I would make sure that was deleted, not just for myself, although that would be important, but also for the brand, for the character, for the company that, is giving you the license. Everything would seem to indicate that you would do something to protect this franchise that has made you what you are. But these people don't care. They don't care about them making money. They don't care about the brand. They only care about themselves. And it's disappointing. It's disgusting. I don't know what's going to happen from this, but it's more garbage from these people. And I don't know how much more evidence, how much more information you need to understand the truth that people like Chris Sabat and people like Sean Schimmel and people like Chris Rager, that they're more than happy to virtue signal on the internet, to say, I stand with LGBT people, and I stand with this and that, and you're a Nazi, and you're a racist, and you're this, I'm going to block you, you're terrible. They're more than happy to do that. But when it comes down to it, these people are disingenuous, they are dishonest, and they are disgusting. And so, I don't know how somebody like Vic managed to stay as long as he did in that industry with these type of people. Maybe it's a different time now where these people feel that they can be more open, that they can be more obnoxious and more disgusting and more just outright gross. But for me, it makes me incredibly sad because the truth is I grew up listening to a lot of these people, and it turns out that they're just the worst. They're absolutely awful. They're absolutely awful. And this whole thing could have been avoided if they had just done any kind of due diligence. I mean, where do you keep something like this? Where do you hide something like this? This was clearly something that was released now because they had it there and somebody was pissed off and they decided to leak it. Who keeps something like this? And for what reason? I mean, it's really, really gross and really revealing. So, anyway, that's where I'm going to end today's video. I'm sad. I'm disappointed. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball. Huge fan of Dragon Ball Z. And this is just more evidence of how terrible and how immoral and how careless and how clueless these people truly are. These so-called professionals, these voice actors. You know, and I also feel bad for the voice actors in Japan who have to see, oh, Dragon Ball is trending or Funimation is trending. And it's this. It's this. It's their craft, their hard work getting tarnished and tainted by these absolute imbeciles, these social justice crusading, virtue signaling, identity politicians who turn out to be some of the worst people that you have ever seen in your life. Anyway, thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I will see you next time.